Happy birthday to Rose.
Happy birthday to Rose.
Happy birthday, dear
Rose.
I think when you get to heaven, you start getting younger, right?
I think so. Well, she
Cool.
thought...
She's like, yeah, this is a good birthday.
She stopped counting, like, birth dates, like, days, and started making it like, oh, this is my prehistoric birthday. This is my dinosaur birthday. Like, things like that.
A sure sign that the end was nigh.
Right? Maybe. Rosie, we love you. Happy birthday to you.
I still blow her a kiss every time I go by the final resting place.
And all the places.
Not that it's final.
No.
Not the way I believe it, but anyway.
All the...
Carry on. Move on.
All right. Well, welcome to Coffee Talk Tuesday, otherwise known as COVID-19
Friday.
Saturday.
Right.
Saturday. Today's Saturday. And I really want to talk about today because I've been seeing so many...
First of all, I want to apologize to everybody who listened to the last one and couldn't hear my voice. I would blame technical difficulties, but I'd also blame the person who wears the headphones who was like, oh, yeah, they can hear me fine, so let's record it.
Well, that would be me, and I could also hear you fine, but maybe it was because you were right there, and since we're not in public doing this, and we're in our own private Idahos or Utahs.
No, we're experiencing what everybody is probably getting settled into is a little social distancing.
Right.
Shalice is currently 6 feet away from me.
Well, no, like at least 10, because if you sneeze or cough, it's 10 feet that it carries.
I think the rule is 6 feet.
Okay, fine. Well,
because somebody made that up, like anybody knows. Really, nobody knows. That's again where we are on day 2. Really, I mean, nobody knows. It's great. I think it's great what's coming down from the top. Yes, any big gatherings, including schools. For now, the number one most important thing anybody can do is make sure that we don't all catch it together. And big groups together, avoiding that is how we're going to avoid it being an uncontrollable group sickness.
Yeah, epidemic.
It's a pandemic, meaning we're all going to. I mean, it's worldwide.
It's affecting all of us in some way.
What is the definition of pandemic?
Pandemic means. Oh, I actually looked this up. Okay. Pandemic means that it's affecting entire groups of people worldwide. Yeah. So an epidemic means it's happening in just one area, and it's confined, and it's just in one.
This one has
area.
no confinement,
and this one is moving over the entire world, and that's when it becomes a pandemic. So I actually also want to really voice how important it is that we all have our own opinion, and it's okay to talk about it. And one of the coolest things about being able to do a podcast that I'm recognizing for myself is that I do have a voice, and my opinion does matter. And I was with a small group of people, not a large group of people, but a small group of people today who had a different opinion. And I started talking about...
They had a different opinion than you?
A different opinion because they have a different perspective, because they
than
don't...
You.
Yes,
I'm just
than
trying
me.
to get clear on...
Yes, than me. Because they were not talking about other people that they were concerned about. They were talking about themselves and how it affects them and how it affects their immediate family.
Okay, well, let me just interject. Selfishness is a far bigger problem in our society than just this pandemic is concerned. That selfishness that is a part of everyday life is something that could be addressed at another time at great length. And sadly, it's also going to be a key player in this current dilemma.
But that was one of the things that I actually was speaking to, because everybody that I was talking to was like, oh, well, the flu kills more people, influenza, blah, 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 all those things. And I was able to, because I do a podcast and I have opinions that I'm not afraid to share.
So wait, so you were in this small gathering and people disagreed with you. So you said, hold on a second.
And you
pulled up your phone and you looked up your podcast and hit... play. No. Everybody listen to this. I have a podcast and I have some things to say. No, you actually said it to them?
I actually said it to them. It wasn't just because directly
to their faces?
And yes, because I am one of those people that
says things directly to people's faces?
No, well, I do that, but also
confrontational? No, I wouldn't. Did I say that? Or is that what you meant?
You're funny. I do like to have a good conversation. I also enjoy hearing other people's opinions. And a lot of times I just let them speak because a lot of people sometimes just need to be heard.
Yeah.
However, this time I do have a strong opinion on what's happening. And I also believe that one of the things, because one of the conversations.
What is your strong opinion? That's probably what's most important.
It is. And because I'm going to say this first. One of the conversations that kept coming up was, well, the influenza kills more people, all of that stuff. They kept saying that. And I said, you're correct.
They're quoting unsubstantiated facts. Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Because what we're going into is the unknown. And the other thing, though, that I was able to say, and that I strongly believe that is important for everybody to think about, is that maybe the pendulum always has to swing in a super high direction for balance to come into play. Influenza, RSV, is something that happens every year. It is an epidemic that happens every year. We have a flu season. Maybe something this big needs to happen so we can understand that even when it is just quote unquote flu season, that we need to take precautions that we're not taking right now.
The big deal everybody's making about don't sneeze on each other, don't cough on each other, don't shake hands with each other when you're sick, wash your hands often. You mean that?
Yeah, that. And
You're absolutely right.
The person that was talking to me said that there was a doctor's office that he was working at, that they were putting in a special room for people that were sick, that they were testing people before they came in to the doctor's office, like we talked about. I think we touched about or on yesterday, that they're testing people before they come in to know how contagious they're going to be and putting them into a separate room. That should be done anyway.
Okay, well let's put that on the side table. Because right now it's you do it in your car. There's the do not go into your doctor's office. Do not go into Instacare. Do not go into the emergency room. Do not walk in if you think you have the coronavirus. You call ahead. You say, I'm coming. You go to wherever they direct you to go, into whatever parking lot they're going to direct you to get to, and you remain in your car and then someone will come out in a spacesuit and test you.
Right.
I mean, that's. I know that that's not like a best case scenario, but that is the only way to keep it from spreading. Yeah. And that's what they've asked. They being the medical professionals, not the government. The medical the medical professionals are the ones who really are having to deal with this. And they're asking, please don't come in and infect everybody else. Please call ahead. Please just give us a heads up that you think that you're in danger.
Yeah.
It's the run on, hey, I just want to get tested because I'm terrified people that are the biggest problem. The ones who really have symptoms, please call ahead and please stay in your car. And please, if you find out that you may even potentially have run into somebody who has it, then you self-isolate. Don't run into big groups. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that I wanted to talk about, to kind of go on the other side of things, so many people, I mean, I am on social media. I see the posts of people either in fear or trying to help the problem, or actually being really angry because this is happening. And one of the things I wanted to touch on today was, where are you putting your energy for this whole pandemic that's happening? Are you angry about it? Are you afraid?
Therefore, being sad? Part of the problem.
Right. And if you're angry about it, like, it's okay to feel the feelings that you're feeling. We all have those feelings. However, what are you going to do about it? And I think that's the next step.
Yeah. If you're going to make it someone else's problem, you're part of the problem.
So I mean, there are so many things that we can do right now. I am super grateful. And yesterday's podcast was posted right before all the school closures happened. So I had said our kids' school closures didn't happen. And literally 10 minutes after I posted the podcast, we got a notification saying that the kids' school was closed.
And it's a soft closure, which is great, because one of the big problems with that was that a lot of kids rely on schools for food, for breakfast, for lunch, and they call it a soft closure, where they're still providing meals. The kids would then show up as usual, get their to-go meals, and then head back home for both breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, and I think that is fantastic, and I love.
People are thinking. People are the nature of the American spirit is starting to show forth. I'm starting to see a wonderful blend of can do and never say die and bipartisan. Let's get on board of finding a solution together, and it's kind of inspiring. It's in the darkest days. I think sometimes the revelation of who we really are shows itself in the mirror, and I'm proud of a lot of things that are happening right now.
And I am too, and I guess it kind of goes back to that old saying, like, when one door closes, another opens. And my challenge to you is to ask yourself and to really think about yourself, about what you're doing and what are you doing to help this problem. We can't do anything at this point to stop the closures, to all of that.
What we can do right now is not take it lightly and not blow it off and go into big groups and spread this thing like wildfire. So we all have to just chill.
So some of the fears and concerns that I've heard as well are, my kids are in daycare. They don't have daycare right now. And I don't know where to go because I have to work. Like, my work is still open. We're still going to work. I don't know where to put my kids. What are you doing to help that? Someone said
it's a scary thing.
It is a scary thing. And somebody said, my daughter is old enough to go babysit. So I'm, as long as their kids aren't sick, I'm allowing my daughter to go babysit. Some people are saying, come do life coaching lessons or whatever. Like, let's help get through this. And they're offering it for free. They're offering services for free to help their communities, to help their neighborhood.
Yeah, citizenship right now is what we need. And that's the thing, is we know what the needs are. We all need to find solution. We need to find solutions to the questions. We don't have answers to all these questions. We have lots of questions, but just getting negative and angry and blamey does nothing to help finding solutions. One of my favorite non-coronavirus thinking, it's the thinking that I try to use in my everyday life, is there's no such thing as a problem, just a solution that I haven't figured out yet. Right. And we all need to figure out the solution to what to the problem that we're facing.
Right.
So, but can we turn the corner to something that you and I were talking about earlier, and that's the practical daily applications. For example, it was breaking my heart earlier today listening to the news and hearing about the BYU basketball team that everyone was so excited about, that not since Jimmer Fredette's team years ago that made a deep run into the tournament, that we have a team that could really do something special. And it's not just about doing something special in a tournament. It's these basketball players, a lot of them are interviewing for their future. And their performances in the NCAA tournament or even the various smaller tournaments, those interviews are getting them the jobs that they've been working so hard their whole lives to be able to feed their families as a professional ball player. And it's not just ball players. It's every group out there. It's a lot of sports. But any large group, these kids, college-age kids, high school-age kids who have spent their lives working towards the goal of being in a position where they can shine, aren't getting that opportunity. And that is heartbreaking. And that deserves, we all need to put our arms around those kids and understand that hurts. That really, really, it's not just about, sick and corona and isolation. It's hopes and dreams being postponed because of something really horrible and scary that's entered Earth.
Yeah. Well, and I think that comes down to having compassion for no matter where you are in society or what your role is or who you are to other people. Like, we have to have compassion for each other. And again, like we said last time, like, we're all in this together and we're all struggling on our own level and on our own personal level, and whether or not you have to go to work or you can't go to work, or you're lucky enough to not have to go to work. If you don't have to go to work and you get to work from home, like what else can you do?
What a gift and what a blessing. So you then, like you just said, you're in a position to do more.
Yeah. And
I drive a big rig when my daily grind is driving a big truck, and what that big truck does, not just mine, but the millions of other big trucks out there, is they provide goods that keep the run on toilet paper at the supermarket. The only way for that to be refilled, for those shelves to have toilet paper on them, is for the guys and gals who drive the trucks that are loaded with toilet paper to bring them to the stores, and for the people to receive that at the stores, and for the people who receive it then to get it on the shelves at the stores. There are hands-on deck people that have to continue to work, and appreciating those people, keeping yourself out of harm's way so that when you go shopping for toilet paper, you're not spreading it to the teenage kid who's there, vulnerable, working, stocking shelves. We're all counting on each other to follow the social protocols that are in place right now. Wash your hands. Be careful. Don't cough on each other. Let's not pass it around, because we need that kid to stock the shelves. You need the truckers to bring the food and the toilet paper. We need each other to keep working, so that critical side point to that is everyone needs to do their part to make sure that we're not spreading this thing at the epic level it wants to be spread.
And I mean, there's so many of us that are able to go out to those grocery stores and deliver it to the people that are compromised immune systems. So, like, even my mom was saying, like, I need to go to the store to be able to do these things. And, you know, my cousin was like, I'll go do this for you. And that was awesome. And of course I will do it too. And one of my heart moms was like, I can't find distilled water. We need to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go out and find distilled water for this baby who needs it to survive. Yeah. And we need to stay strong if we're healthy to be able to help the people that need it.
And we need to demand of each other that we follow these protocols.
Yeah.
And then even to dissect it even further, I run an acting class out of my house, which means I invite on a good night, we've got a dozen strangers, not strangers anymore, but a dozen people from different cities across Utah Valley, from as far as Ogden, I think is as far as they go up north, down to as far as Provo down south, that get together at my place, and my kids are here, and we gather once a week, and so I'm left to ponder: is it responsible or irresponsible of me to hold class this coming Wednesday? Like I am asking myself, I'm seriously asking myself, is it responsible? I don't want to cancel it. I love teaching the class. The class loves being together. We're on a beautiful upward trajectory of growth, and the last thing I want is to stall that with sorry, we're not having class for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 8 weeks because we can't get together. And I'm forced to make it a decision. Am I being overcautious, or am I being irresponsible if I say let's do it? And I don't know the right answer. And I think all of us are kind of caught not knowing what the right answer is. But it certainly is, I think, better to be asking the question than to irresponsibly just ignore it and plow forth. Right.
And for today, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, any advice, any comments of what you're doing for the community, for your certain situations, we would love to hear you. Please comment, like, share, understand, help us understand. Like, we're here because it's a community environment and we want to all help each other. So anything that you guys can add in today, we would love.
So what should I do?
Love to hear.
I mean, just to wrap this up, what should I do? Should I have that class or not? Yeah. So 12 strangers. I call them strangers, they're not strangers. 12 people from 12 different households.
Okay.
Coming together. Is that irresponsible?
I don't know. That's a question we're going to ask our audience.
What would you do? Should I? It's your kids. Your kids are here too. They're in the class.
They are in the class. And I also have my local little...
Should I hold it or not? You're shrugging your shoulders, and so am I. I don't know.
I don't know. So, viewers, what do you think? What do you guys, or listeners, I guess at this point, what do you guys think that we should do?
Close your eyes and imagine us in your head. It is the same as being a viewer.
So, yeah, what are you guys doing? What would you do in this situation? And we'd love to hear from you. So, thank you so much tonight for listening. And
20 minutes.
I know. This was going to be just a short one, but this was a good conversation. So
hang in there, everybody. We'll get through it.
Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow. I'd love to hear your comments.
And the beautiful thing is, the longer this lasts, the more often you get to hear us.
Thank you so much for listening.
Coronavirus, for providing
some extra
reason for Shalise and Dave to yap into a microphone to be heard by masses of people.
All right. Well, let us know what your guys' opinions are, and we will see you tomorrow.
Hang it up.
Bye.